Distinguished member, that's absolutely true, and I think, as he clearly points out, I think we should really ask the distinguished chairwoman of the Rules Committee why were, in this case, 3 amendments that were agreed upon, Energy and Commerce, why were they dropped from the print? And perhaps if she can't, then I think really the Speaker, whose office this fact sheet came from, should clearly tell us why she dropped amendments that were passed through the democratic process here in the House of Representatives of the United States of America.
They were still in there.
And yet they have a fact sheet that's saying they're still in here. And she uses the word bipartisan when you can't say it's bipartisan if, in my case, my amendment's not in there. It was agreed upon, and others on the Energy and Commerce, their amendments are not here. So I would be glad to yield time to the distinguished chairwoman of the Rules Committee to find out why these amendments, after they were passed overwhelmingly in the Energy and Commerce Committee, are not in the print. Will the distinguished chairwoman of the Energy and Commerce, does she wish to, the Rules Committee, does she wish to answer?
We had a thorough airing of this last night, Madam Speaker. Everybody knows what happened here. It had nothing at all to do with the Rules Committee.
Madam Speaker, would the gentleman yield?
I'd be glad to yield.
With all due respect, for the chair of the Committee on Rules to stand up and said we had an hour discussion on this last night and everybody knows what happens, Madam Speaker, I don't think that the author of the amendment, Mr. Stearns, was there when we last night in the Rules Committee discussed this and this came forward. I just don't see that as any kind of answer. I thank my friend for yielding.
Madam Speaker, how much time do I have left?
The gentleman has 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes. I'll just conclude here.
Reserve your time and see if she
Well, I'll reserve the balance of my time, Madam Speaker. Perhaps the distinguished chairwoman from the Rules Committee would like to say. I'll reserve the balance of my time.
I reserve my time.
Gentleman from New York reserves her time. Gentleman from Florida.
Madam Speaker, it's clear she has no response to the rhetorical question is why were amendments that were agreed upon in the Energy and Commerce dropped capriciously, arbitrarily from the print? And I think we'll just let that as a question remain in the House of Representatives and point out to all the members that when the Speaker puts out a sheet, a fact sheet, in which she says it's a bipartisan bill, it's open and transparent, that obviously is not true. There's no one on the Democrat side is here this morning to explain how amendments that were agreed upon in Energy and Commerce were dropped, and perhaps the same was true of the Ways and Means and also the Appropriations Committee. And for those members like myself who came up and asked that my amendment that was accepted be included as an amendment to the amendment for the stimulus package was denied, and yet the distinguished chairwoman of the Rules Committee cannot even answer the simple question, why were amendments not included when in fact they were passed overwhelmingly in Energy and Commerce. And with that, Madam Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.
Florida yields back his time. The gentlewoman from New York.
Madam Speaker, let me correct what Mr. Dreyer thinks I said. I said we'd had a thorough airing of this issue last night at Rules, although it is not the Rules Committee's, it is not our job to explain why the Speaker's press office, I will not. I think everybody here, certainly by now, we know a red herring when we see one. This is one of the reddest I've seen in such time that I've been here. And I urge my colleagues to vote yes on a motion to consider so that we can get about the business of the United States, debate and pass this important piece of legislation that over 80% of the people want us to do, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back the balance of her time. All time for debate has expired. The question is, shall the House now consider the resolution? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The ayes have it.
Ask for the yeas and nays.
Does the gentleman request the yeas and nays? The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their vote by electronic device. This will be a 15-minute vote.